Today, I want to speak about Joseph. Joseph the dreamer, Joseph the favorite son, Joseph the brother thrown into the pit, Joseph the slave, the prisoner, the interpreter of dreams, and finally the ruler in Egypt who saves his family from famine. Joseph is one of the most psychologically rich figures in Genesis. And if we read him through Carl Jung, he becomes even richer because Joseph's life is built around dreams. His own dreams as a young man, the dreams of the butler and baker in prison, the dreams of Pharaoh, and the great unfolding dream of his own destiny, which he doesn't understand at the beginning but slowly grows into through suffering. For Carl Jung, dreams are communications from the unconscious. They are not random. They are not merely meaningless fragments. They reveal symbolic truths that the conscious mind may not yet be ready to understand. But Jung also knew that dreams are dangerous when handled immaturely. A dream may reveal a destiny, but the ego may become inflated by it. This is exactly what happens with Joseph. At the beginning of the story, Joseph is 17 years old. He is loved by Jacob more than his brothers because he is the son of Rachel, the beloved wife. Jacob gives him a special garment, often called the coat of many colors. His brothers see that their father loves him more and they hate him. Then Joseph dreams. In the first dream, he and his brothers are binding sheaves in the field, and Joseph's sheaf rises upright while the brothers' sheaves bow down to it. In the second dream, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bow down to him. Joseph tells these dreams to his family. This is the first important psychological moment. The dreams may be true, but Joseph's relationship to them is immature. He does not yet know how to carry a dream. He reports it as though destiny itself has made him superior. He does not interpret with humility. He announces, and his brothers hate him even more. From a Jungian perspective, this is ego inflation. Joseph has received an image from the unconscious, but his young ego identifies with it too directly. He thinks the dream is about his personal greatness. He does not yet understand that a true calling is not a decoration of the ego. It is a burden, a discipline, and often a suffering. This is a vital distinction. A dream of destiny does not mean I am special and others must bow. It may mean you are being drawn into a difficult pattern whose meaning you do not yet understand. Joseph does not know that his dreams will be fulfilled only after humiliation, slavery, false accusation, imprisonment, loneliness, and years of waiting. He sees the bowing. He does not see the pit, but the pit comes. Jacob sends Joseph to check on his brothers. They see him from afar and say, "Here comes this dreamer." They plot against him. They strip him of his special garment and throw him into a pit. Eventually, he is sold into Egypt. The dreamer descends. This is archetypal. In many myths and spiritual stories, the person called to transformation must descend before rising. The descent may be into darkness, exile, water, prison, wilderness, or the underworld. Joseph descends into the pit, then into Egypt, then into prison. Jung would see this as a movement into the unconscious. Joseph's bright, youthful identity, a favorite son, special garment, a dreamer of greatness, is stripped away. The coat is taken. The brothers dip it in blood and send it to Jacob. Symbolically, the old Joseph dies. This is psychologically necessary. The inflated ego must be broken open before a deeper vocation can emerge. That sounds harsh, but it is often true. People may begin life with talent, charm, or a sense of destiny. But unless that gift passes through humility, it can remain narcissistic. Suffering does not automatically ennoble anyone, but it can deepen the person who faces it consciously. Joseph in Egypt begins to change. In Potiphar's house, he proves capable and responsible. When Potiphar's wife tries to seduce him, Joseph refuses. He does not simply refuse because he fears punishment. He refuses because he has a moral center. He says that to betray Potiphar would be a great wrong and a sin before God. Then he is falsely accused and thrown into prison. This is another major psychological test. Joseph does the right thing and still suffers. That is the end of childish morality. Childish morality expects good behavior to be rewarded quickly. Mature morality knows that doing right may lead to loss, misunderstanding, or exile. Joseph remains faithful in prison. And there, something changes in his relationship to dreams. He no longer dreams about himself, he interprets the dreams of others. This is his maturation. The young Joseph says, "Listen to my dream." The mature Joseph says, "Tell me your dream." This is a profound transformation. The gift that began as self-centered becomes service. The dreamer becomes the interpreter. In prison, Pharaoh's butler and baker each have dreams. Joseph notices their sadness and asks why their faces are troubled. This is a small detail, but important. Joseph has become attentive to the inner states of others. He is no longer merely announcing his own significance. He is listening. For Jung, true psychological development involves relation. The ego must learn that it is not the center of the universe. It must become capable of serving a larger pattern. Joseph interprets the dreams. The butler will be restored, the baker will be executed. The interpretations come true, but the butler forgets Joseph. Again, Joseph waits. This waiting is essential. A calling ripens in time. The unconscious may give an image early, but the personality must become strong enough to embody it. Joseph's original dream was not wrong, but he was not yet ready to live it rightly. Then Pharaoh dreams. 7 healthy cows are swallowed by 7 thin cows. 7 healthy ears of grain are swallowed by 7 thin ears. No one can interpret. The butler remembers Joseph. Joseph is brought from prison, shaved, clothed, and presented before Pharaoh. Now notice Joseph's response. Pharaoh says he has heard that Joseph can interpret dreams. Joseph says, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer." This is not the voice of the 17-year-old boasting to his brothers. This is a changed man. The gift is no longer ego possession. It is divine service. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams as a warning of 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. But he does more than interpret. He advises action. Store grain during the years of plenty so Egypt may survive the years of famine. This is where Joseph's gift becomes fully mature. Dream interpretation must become practical wisdom. The dream is not for fascination, it is for life. Jung would agree. A dream is not meant merely to be admired as a mysterious symbol. It must be integrated. It must change how one lives. Joseph's interpretation saves Egypt and eventually saves his own family. He is appointed to power. The one thrown into the pit becomes second only to Pharaoh. Now the original dreams begin to return. Joseph's brothers come to Egypt seeking grain. They bow before him, not recognizing him. Here the dream becomes reality. But the question now is, what will Joseph do with fulfilled destiny? This may be the greatest test of all. It is one thing to suffer. It is another thing to gain power over those who caused your suffering. Joseph could take revenge. He could humiliate them. He could reveal himself instantly and enjoy their terror. Instead, he tests them. His testing is complex and not entirely comfortable. There may be pain in it. There may be remnants of trauma. Joseph is not a saint made of marble. He weeps repeatedly. He hides his tears. He stages situations. He wants to know whether the brothers have changed, especially in relation to Benjamin, the other son of Rachel. Has the family pattern changed? Will they sacrifice Benjamin as they once sacrificed Joseph? Judah eventually steps forward and offers himself in Benjamin's place. This is the turning point. The brother who once suggested selling Joseph now offers himself to save another brother and spare their father. Something has changed. Only then does Joseph reveal himself. I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? This sentence collapses years of hidden grief. The brothers are terrified, but Joseph said something astonishing. You intended evil against me, but God intended it for good. This is not a denial of evil. Joseph does not say it was not evil. He says you intended evil. He names the wrong, but he also sees a larger pattern. This is deeply Jungian. Individuation does not mean pretending the darkness was light. It means seeing how, in the mysterious totality of life, even dissent, betrayal, and suffering may be woven into transformation. But we must be careful. This line should never be used cheaply against sufferers. No one has the right to tell another person your suffering was for the best. Joseph can say it about his own life after years of transformation. It cannot be imposed from outside. Joseph's statement is not an explanation that removes pain. It is the wisdom of someone who has lived long enough inside the pattern to see meaning without denying injury. The brothers meant evil. God brought life. Both are true. This is mature consciousness. Now, what does Joseph teach us psychologically? First, dreams may reveal destiny before the ego is ready to carry it. Joseph's early dreams were not false, but his early relationship to them was immature. Many people receive gifts early: intelligence, beauty, charisma, spiritual sensitivity, or creative talent. But if the ego identifies with the gift becomes dangerous. Secondly, dissent is often part of transformation. The pit, slavery, and prison are not interruptions of Joseph's story. They are part of the story. They strip him, deepen him, and prepare him. Third, the dreamer must become an interpreter. Joseph matures when he stops using dreams to glorify himself and begins using interpretation to serve others. Fourth, true interpretation leads to responsibility. Joseph does not merely explain a Pharaoh's dream. He builds a policy, he stores grain, he saves lives. A dream that remains abstract has not yet been integrated. Fifth, healing requires recognition. Joseph's brothers must come to know who he is. Joseph must see whether they have changed. The family cannot be repaired by pretending the past did not happen. And sixth, destiny is fulfilled most deeply when it becomes mercy. Joseph's brothers bow, as the dream said they would. But Joseph's greatness is not that they bow. His greatness is that he uses power to preserve life. That is the transformation of the dream. At 17, Joseph may have thought the dream meant superiority. By the end, he knows it meant responsibility. That is the difference between inflation and vocation. Inflation says, I am chosen, therefore I am above others. Vocation says, I am chosen, therefore I must serve something larger than myself. Joseph's story is one of the Bible's greatest studies of the unconscious, because dreams begin the process, but life interprets the dreams. He does not understand his dream when he receives it. He only understands it after the pit, the prison, Pharaoh, the famine, the brothers, the tears, and the reconciliation. Perhaps that is how dreams often work. We receive the image first. We live the meaning later. And only after years do we say, now I understand why the dream came. Joseph teaches that the unconscious may speak early, but wisdom comes slowly. The dream is given in youth. The interpretation requires a lifetime.